everyone, Intuitive Edge. Today I'd like to take a look at the upcoming Mueller Report. The findings are supposed to be coming out, and I'd like to take a look at what is it that we're going to see? How is it going to impact various players involved? So I've written out several questions, and we're going to ask the tarot and see what information we can glean from what's about to come out. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to shuffle up the cards, and I'll be right back, and we'll get started. All right, so try that again. All right, cut the deck. All right, so what is going to be the primary focus of the findings in the Mueller Report? How will it affect the president? And how will it affect Paul Manafort? These are just a couple of the questions I have at the beginning here. Okay, the first card we have with the wheel. Generally, this is a card of fate, destiny, your destination, your karma, your fate. When it's reversed, sometimes this can indicate a lack of focus or things going in circles, things not quite, it's like a little scattered, which is interesting because the question is, what is the primary focus of the findings? And I've got kind of this, because of the reversal, it's like a spinning your wheels kind of thing. So I don't know if there will be a, like, I'm getting like, the image of maybe like a whole bunch of pages, and you'll have a little bit of substance and then a whole bunch of other stuff that doesn't really amount to much, and then you'll have a little bit of something that's good, and then a whole bunch that kind of doesn't amount to much. So I think it's going to be a lot, but when you condense it, the condensed parts are going to be what's important. And so I think there's a lot that's in there that's not really relevant. So that's interesting. All right, next. How will it affect the president? Now, I get the Fire King a lot with President Trump, so it doesn't surprise me that this card fell for a question about him, and it's upright, so I don't know that it will affect him terribly. I'm getting, okay, so what I'm drawn into, and the way I read tarot cards, is the traditional meaning of the card, and then sometimes I will cue in on something in the artwork that tells a story and helps me kind of flesh out what I'm getting. And with this, there's this little tiny salamander, and he's trying to, like, he's reaching for the tail of this magnificent looking cat, right? Very kingly figure. So I think it's gonna, I see it like the salamander trying to touch the tail of Trump. I don't think it's going to, President Trump. I don't think it's going to actually dethrone him or dismantle him. I don't think it's going to cause an impeachment of President Trump. It's more like this little nuisance. I don't think it's going to have the impact against the president that maybe some people are hoping for. That's just what I see. Okay, how will it affect Paul Manafort? Now we have the floating cat. This is sometimes you have to give up something to gain something. And I think this has something to do with his plea deal. So I think he's having to plea out to something in order to save himself from something worse. So I think he's kind of in limbo right now. He's kind of in a funny predicament. But he's having to weigh his options and maybe give up a little bit of what he knows is right, to go along with Bob Mueller, in order to save himself later. Yeah, he's in a precarious situation, I think. Okay, let's see, number 4. How will it implicate the President Putin of Russia? Or will it implicate the President of Russia? President Putin. So with regard to President Putin, I see him as a little bit untouchable with all of this. I don't think that this is going to be something that's going to have a real hard impact on him. I see him as like layers of protection back. He's well insulated from this. I don't think it's, I mean, even if something points to him, I don't think it's ultimately going to have a direct impact on him. I see him as rather insulated and protected. Then there's something with the feet, the motion of this, like the people out front. There would be, people would fall before him, before he would ever fall. It's like people that are players in this whole thing. There would be lots of other people that would take the fall before he ever would. I don't think it will affect him in that way. That's just what I see. Okay, 5, 6, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This question, will any collusion between President Trump and President Putin be found? And again, we have this kind of sad-looking cat. So on that question specifically, it looks like this is like you're depressed. This is a card of like you're coming up empty and you're depressed. So I don't think that the big link between President Putin and President Trump is going to be in this report. And I think it may have some people depressed, possibly. But this to me feels like you're coming up empty. You're not, this is not a happy, joyful, it's like, no, not quite there. Not quite there. Number 6, how will the public view the report? Now, we have this card of people coming. Okay, the image of these cats coming and bringing gifts to this one main cat here. Like you're bringing something to the table. You're bringing something in. And on the reversal, it feels like that, like what is being brought in is either disappointing or not enough or not what people were expecting. Kind of this this celebratory, triumphant Mueller report. I don't think it's going to have quite that that feeling of really bringing something of substance that people are going to go, aha, you know, here's the collusion. Here, it feels like with the reversal that it's a little bit lacking, and I think the public's going to feel like, where's the substance? Where's this really going? Number 7, how will the report affect the FBI? Now, interesting, we would have the 6 of C. This is a card with the cats kind of jumping in the water, getting in over their head and having to kind of swim it out, and sink or swim kind of thing. I think I'm feeling like with Mr. Comey that he was kind of the front runner with this whole with this whole thing. He kind of was like he was the one that was taking the lead on a lot of this stuff. There were other players too. But I feel like there may be some policy or procedures that may have to be revised or revamped, but that's down the road a ways. That may eventually come of this. Right now, I think some people are just trying to keep their heads above water and keep out of the fray and try not to be overwhelmed and drown, figuratively speaking. I think that there's a few that are trying to stay above water, keep their heads above water. And I feel like Comey's right up there. McCabe too, possibly, but because Comey, like it or not, he was like the front runner of all this. I feel like that this is really, and I don't know if the report will have any of that about Comey. I kind of doubt it, but I mean, I don't know. We'll see. But that's just the feeling I get with Comey, is that he's front and center with this whole thing. Ooh. This question is the overall impact of the Mueller report. And we've got the Earth King upside down. Now, this card upside down is one of the most devious cards in the deck as a reversal. It is somebody who is sneaky, conniving, greedy. So this Earth King reversed is highly aggressive, competitive, overbearing, critical. I mean, on the reversal, it's like kind of a nasty, nasty feel to it. And that being on the overall impact. This feels kind of like almost like a viciousness with it, like an intent to be malicious. And I think that is possibly the overall impact. Maybe that's kind of what's been driving this whole thing, is that malicious kind of feeling. I just get that feeling of malicious and devious as a result of the entire report. It just feels like that's kind of what underpinned it. So keep that in mind. Interesting. Okay. Sky Kitten. This is like just kind of the overall. What's, Sky Kitten. I see this card as like, this kitten is like leaping, but not quite, kind of missing the mark a little bit. Not quite getting what you're after. It does feel that that overall this report is going to be somewhat thorough. I think they're going to go through a lot of different scenarios of things that took place. Not all the dots will connect, I feel. It feels like there's going to be some conjecture as to which pieces connect with which dots, but that's going to take some discernment on the part of the people who read the report to understand that just because something is conjecture doesn't mean that there's a direct correlation. So that might take some wisdom on behalf of some people. Now other people are going to see conjecture and think, oh, that's it, that's over. And they're not going to really look at it and go, you know what, just it could be circumstantial. It doesn't necessarily mean a direct implication of this other thing. So I think there's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be some little things that point. And that's what I think I was getting on this original card. There's going to be a lot of pieces, a lot of moving parts. Some dots will connect. Others look like they connect, but don't really. So I think it's going to be up to kind of the buyer beware when it comes to reading this report to fully understand it. And that's going to take somebody probably with a legal mind, because those things are not fun to read. So, okay. All right. That's all I got for now. I hope you liked it. If you do, leave a like. I'll be back. I'll make more videos. I hope everybody's doing well. We'll catch you next time on Intuitive Edge. Signing out. Bye-bye.